Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show is brought to you by DKI Canada. Across the street, across the country. Here on the 18th Green at El Tigre Golf Course in Nuevo Vallarta, getting ready for the clinic put on by Renew Medical Center, Brad Faxon, Peter Kostis. Get ready. This will be fun. NBC Golf analyst Brad Faxon, one of the best pure putters in PGA Tour history. And Peter Kostis, formerly of CBS, teacher of numerous pros, including Faxon, Bernard Langer, Ches Reavie, Steve Elkington, Paul Casey, and many more.
There's been a lot of stuff said about people who are like 110 years old, still collecting Social Security and whatnot. And for the record, I'm 104. Due to Renew, I'm here. So, and I am getting Social Security, so it's not all a scam.
Actually, he's only 78. And both golfers have benefited from stem cell treatments at Renew, who do all kinds of great work. So Faxon is from the Boston area, but he was still okay with Canada's win over the U.S. in the Four Nations Championship final.
It was great to see. And then there was real spirit on the ice. I think afterwards, I think the best thing in sport is watching teams shake hands after a hard-fought battle. To have Connor McDavid score the winning goal, it was important, I think, for Canada right now, too.
So this was a short game clinic with a focus on putting from two of the very best. First question, pins in or out?
Always pin out when I'm reading putts because the pin influences my read. And for me, I leave the pin in for anything outside of 5 feet.
I think the pin in is the worst rule the USGA's ever made in the game.
Okay.
Hate it.
Right.
It doesn't speed up play. It makes people confused. It looks cheap.
Okay, not mincing words here. Faxon was a putting machine. 3 times he was top putter on the tour. In 2000, he set the single season record, averaging 1.7 putts per green. I believe that record still stands. He talks about his process, which includes a limited amount of thinking.
People think that a process, you have to think about your process, or you have to think about getting in a zone. I think those things should naturally come to you. Now, naturally might be the wrong word, but they will come to you if you do it enough. Or if you get in a routine, you have a routine that you don't have to think about. I know I'm doing it, but the purpose of a routine is so you can hit the best shot, have the best chance to have a putt to go in, and I got pretty good at that.
Faxon was an 8-time winner on the PGA Tour. He also won on the Champions Tour. But one of his favorite victories came down under. And then, of course, there was an almost win at the Canadian Open.
In '93, I got paired with Greg Norman in the tournament while he was #1 player in the world. We played in a course called Metropolitan, which was in Melbourne, where some of the best courses in the world are. And I won the tournament, putted exceptionally well. And to have that trophy, the Stonehaven Cup with some of the greatest names in golf on it, that was a pretty big honor.
Winning a national title in Australia. Of course, you almost won a national title in Canada. Tell us about that.
Jeez.
2003, I believe.
It was 2003 to Bob Tway. I lost in a playoff at Hamilton. Some of the best golf I ever played. And then I remember distinctly I had in the playoff about a 6-footer for a birdie on this par 5 where I hit an incredible bunker shot. And I started thinking before the putt, thinking the wrong way. What I was going to say during the trophy presentation, and I missed the putt by a mile, and just like, I want to start that all again.
I asked Kostis if he thinks the PGA Tour and LIV will ever get it together and find some common ground. He says, yep. What do you think is going to happen between LIV and PGA Tour? What do you think is going to happen?
I think Donald Trump is going to end the war in Ukraine, end the war in the Gaza, build 14 golf courses on the Gaza Strip, right, end our deficit, and fix LIV and the PGA Tour, all in the first 100 days. Yeah. I don't know. They're going to come together. They have to, because right now it's total chaos. It's just a matter of seeing what it looks like when it's done. But there'll be an agreement here certainly this year.
Kostis is impressed by the number of good golfers coming out of Canada these days And his memories of Canadian greats goes back a long way.
I got to go back first to George Newson.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because
Or Mo Norman.
and I played with Mo Norman. I hit balls and practiced a lot with Mo Norman when he was in Florida in the wintertime, right? So I go from that generation to today's generation. And what's made me happy, because CBS did the Canadian Open for forever. And the evolution of the spread of good golfers in the country is really super for me. You know, I know hockey is the national sport, but in reality, I think there's maybe even more Canadians that play golf than get on skates.
Right.
So I think that they've done a really good job of developing younger players, and I hope it continues.
And here we are at the beautiful Vedanta Golf Course in Nuevo Vallarta for the final round of the 2025 Mexico Open. Only 2 Canadians in the field, and only one of them, Adam Svensson of Surrey, BC, made the cut to play here on the weekend. Svensson went into the final round at 5 under. Well back of the leaders, he would make a bit of a charge with 3 straight birdies on 12, 13, and here on 14. That would get him to 8 under par, but he wasn't able to hold that momentum, sliding back to finish at 5 under. Jose Luis Ballester Barrio of Spain, playing in his second career PGA event, had one of the great shots of the day on number 10, definitely a Sunday pin placement. Ballester Barrio lands it up and gets it to roll in for the birdie. He closed with a sizzling 65. Of course, the big story was that terrific battle between Aldrich Potgiedter and Brian Campbell in the final pairing. Potgiedter, the 20-year-old from South Africa, made some clutch shots all week. He tied the course record with a 61 on Friday. He drives the ball as far as anybody else on the tour, and he made this phenomenal approach on 12 to set up a tap-in birdie. He would force a playoff with Brian Campbell, back on tour after losing his card a few years back. Now Campbell, the 31-year-old American, got the job done with a great short game. They needed 2 extra holes before Campbell finally closed the deal. After a fortuitous carom off the trees, his first professional win after over 180 starts. Dr. Mike Bott, a Calgary native who does chiropractic and mobility work for the PGA Tour, says he really enjoyed that win by a guy who certainly deserved it. I mean, what a story he is, Brian, has been around the tour for so long, and been on the Corn Ferry Tour before that, but now he gets his first win after like 180 some tries, and that one must have been really fun for him and really fun to witness that.
It's interesting because he doesn't hit it really long. He's not a really long hitter. His average, I think, is 275 yards off the tee, but it's down the middle, amazing around the greens. It gets up and down from everywhere. That's kind of what it's about, is getting up and down from those tight spots. And if may have 2 club difference coming in to a hole, but if you could shape it in there and you can get around the greens, it pays off clearly.
Right. 31 years old, never won before, gone through a lot to get to where he is today. But obviously the guy has some perseverance there, right? Like, clearly.
I mean, that's a story for a lot of these guys right there. You have to have perseverance. There's so much talent out there. There's so many good players that can win any week. They can win any week. They can come out and win and perform, and that's what it takes. And it's that much difference in players in the PGA Tour that it's really, really hard to know who's going to win potentially.
What does a normal day look like for you on the PGA Tour?
Well, first of all, I'm old, so I got to get up and stretch a little bit more. Got to get loose because these guys got to get up there really early. I got to be there an hour and a half before the first tee time. Get these guys warmed up, do some mobility things with them, give them some activation exercises to activate their golf swing muscles to activate before they swing. So getting your glutes activated, getting your core activated, making sure your mobility is good, making sure all their timing is right. Symmetry is important, and keep it light in there with them. Joke around, ask them what they ate or whatever it was, how much tequila they had around here, whatever it is, just kind of keep it light with these guys, which is really important. It's really important that separates people from the first tee box when you get a little nervioso, as they say, right? You teach players how to belly breathe, how to do chin tucks, how to have good postural things, standing up taller, feeling more aware of your surroundings, so more alert, because that creates confidence. And when other players see that, competition sees that, they know that they maybe have a little advantage because, you are sitting up taller and, standing up taller, walking through your next shot. I wrote a children's book about it. Kenzie sits up tall. You got to teach kids to do this from an early start, and it really helps to structure the baseline. So I tell players about it. I have them read it, look at it, and they love it. I've got a copy of it here. I'll show you. I've got a copy for you. I signed it for you. But, because you have to bring these things into their mindset, how to hip hinge, how to do abdominal strengthening, how to do lower back strengthening what I call the posterior chain. Everything in the back of our bodies is weaker, right? We can do more push-ups and we can do pull-ups. Our abs are stronger than our lower back. Our glutes are really weak compared to how tight our hips are, and our quads are stronger than our hamstrings. But all the muscles in your back, I kind of explain to people, those muscles have to hold you up. They're contracting all day long. And if they're not strong enough, it's hard to maintain good posture. It's hard to maintain good sitting posture when you sit, and that's creates problems. So the stronger you get in the back, the more stability you have and less pain you have.
When we come back, Brian McFarland remembers the Hewitts, Foster and Bill, a pair of broadcasting legends. In 1992, the best locally owned restoration companies came together with one goal: to make disaster recovery better for Canadians. And to this day, DKI remains one of the only 100% Canadian-owned disaster restoration groups in the market. Fire, flood, or storm damage. When things go wrong, the right help makes all the difference. With the right tools and local expertise, we handle everything from emergency response to full-scale restoration, getting homes and businesses back on track the right way. Because a home is more than four walls, a business is more than a building, and recovery is about more than repairs. When you choose DKI, you're choosing a company that's put Canada first since 1992. Locally owned, nationally backed, Canadian through and through. Addiction Rehab Toronto, Toronto's #1 alcohol and drug treatment center, saving lives, reuniting families. The only treatment center in the province to offer medical detox, treatment, sober living, and lifetime aftercare all in one place. Our unique and specialized programs are designed to equip our clients with the tools to successfully lead a life of dignity, respect, and purpose. Let us help save your life or your loved one's life. Call today for more information or to facilitate an intervention. 1-855-787-2424 or visit addictionrehabtoronto.ca.
I say the Hewitts were rather mysterious, Joe. I never saw Bill go into a dressing room. He never attended a morning skate, neither did Foster. They never stayed for a beer with the guys after a game. They just disappeared. On road games, they took different air travel flights than we did. They stayed at different hotels. We just saw them at the arena for the game, and then they just disappeared into the night. I don't think Bill really wanted to be a broadcaster. I think Foster said, "You're going to do what I did for 50 years or more." And Bill said, "Well, when you retire, I'm going to retire then." And Bill got sick, though, late in his career and died shortly after. It was difficult to pinpoint the Hewitts. Foster, of course, deserves praise for being the #1 broadcaster in the world, I guess, at one time. He started in 1923, I believe, I'm doing some research on that for a book I'm doing called The Maple Leaf Forever. And there's some old dispute whether Foster started on a certain date or another date. He didn't seem to know in his memoirs which date it was. But he got started doing radio at the old Mutual Street Arena in Toronto, and when Hockey Night in Canada blossomed with the building of the gardens and winning cups and everything, well, he was a mainstay every Saturday night. I can remember as a kid, we all gathered in the kitchen to listen to the radio and the Leaf game, and there were a million other radios on at the very same time doing the very same thing. With Bill, I think he would rather have been maybe an outdoorsman, a game warden, perhaps. He loved the outdoors. He didn't seem to have the passion for hockey that some of us did, but he was a very nice young man, and he'd pat you on the back when you were working. He didn't seem to know all the rules at times. And I remember my first with him, the puck went right along the goal line and stayed out. And he said, Brian, as you knew, any part of the puck on the line, it's a goal. Well, we went to commercial, and I said, Bill, you made a little mistake there. It has to be over the line to count. He said, no, it doesn't. Well, I got my rule book out, and I said, look, rule 33C, the puck has to be over the line to count. He said, well, they've changed that rule. And that was my first game. So we had our difficulties over the years.
Discover the secret to timeless vitality at Renew Medical Center in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Our specialists unravel the science of aging, tailoring plans to defy its effects. Experience cutting-edge regenerative therapies such as stem cells and exosomes, addressing aging at its core.
It's a wonderful spot, and I highly recommend it for whatever you may need. Whether you just want to feel better, you want to look better, have basically a quality of life, just to ramp it up a little bit as we age.
Liberate yourself from aging-related concerns, where accountability, technology, and passion for regenerative medicine converge. Begin your path to peak health and wellness with us. Schedule your appointment today at renewpv.com and elevate your quality of life.
Parents, what's the biggest fear for kids 10 to 14? A future they think they can't handle. At Believe, Become, Be You, we know confidence in the future is a habit we can build. Our course doesn't just prepare kids for the future, it seeds them with skills they will use now. For a limited time, the I Believe in Me Foundation is offering the first 1,000 kids and their parents 1 year free access. This priceless opportunity will save you over $2,000. This isn't just a course. It's a journey in developing life-enhancing skills that will grow with your child, fostering gritty minds, creative futures, and better bonds. Get signed up now at BelieveBecomeBeYou.com. That's BelieveBecomeBeYou.com.
And we want to thank all the folks who make this show possible. These are friends, trusted business associates, and all-around great people. We highly recommend them all. Thank you for your support of Canadian sports. A reminder that the show is available on iTunes, Spotify, Breaker, and wherever you get your podcast from. Also, check out the show on YouTube. All of our past great shows are on there, clips, shorts. Like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Our socials are at Joe Swiss Tilley on Instagram and X, Joe Tilley's Great Canadian Sports Show on Facebook. Thanks once again to Brad Faxon, Peter Kostis, and Dr. Mike Bott for joining us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. MNP, a leading Canadian national accounting, tax, and business accounting firm. MNP proudly serves and responds to the need of their clients in the private, public, and nonprofit sectors. Through partner-led engagements, MNP provides a collaborative, cost-effective approach to do business and personal strategies to help people and organizations to succeed across the country and around the world. With local offices in Oshawa, Mississauga, Burlington, and more, their team is here to support you. Visit mnp.ca today to learn more. Brian Gribben Insurance Planning, helping you solidify your financial future.
At BGIP, what we do that's unique in the marketplace is we show people how to spend and enjoy their money in the early years of retirement without the fear of running out. Also, we're able to do this without you having to change financial advisors. Please look us up at bgip.ca today. Let's book a 30-minute phone call to see how we can bring value to you and your family in your planning.
Call Brian today for all your retirement needs. We did. 905-686-5678. Hi, I'm Joe Tilley, and I want to tell you about the painting pros. Patrick and his crew recently came into my home, and they painted the walls. They added some color. It's fantastic, and I can't be more satisfied with the work they did. That crew is tremendous. They were professional. They were courteous. They were respectful. and they did a fantastic job. Look at that. Look at that color. I just can't stress enough how satisfied we truly are with Patrick and his crew. For all your pitting needs, go with the pros. Joe Tilley here. My wife Penny Claire and I recently took an amazing trip to Egypt and Jordan with Trip Oppo. And here are our top 10 must-dos. Another must-do experience is a luxurious cruise down the Nile River. The ship was elegantly furnished with premium facilities, including a spacious lounge and a swimming pool. The cabins were comfortable, well-appointed, offering panoramic views of the Nile River and the surrounding landscape. I would highly recommend that you book your next trip through Trip Oppo. Call them today. Rooted in 60 years of tradition, Sleepy Hollow is a private golf club with a friendly community of members just minutes from Toronto. With mature trees and rolling fairways, Sleepy Hollow provides a challenging and enjoyable experience for passionate golfers. Enjoy great golf, amazing dining, and a picturesque patio second to none. Visit sleepyhollowcountryclub.com.